I've seen a number of comments asking for a video on moisturizers that are lightweight for the summer, and you are in luck because not only is that what this video is about, but the moisturizers I'm going to be recommending in today's video are all free of niacinamide. Now, you guys know I adore niacinamide, but a lot of y'all comment, please recommend moisturizers without niacinamide because it burns and stings. So this video is kind of a 2-for-1, summer friendly as well as niacinamide free. Now, summer is a time where we sweat a lot, we're exposed to a lot more environmental aggressors that can affect our moisture barrier. A lot of people are just under the impression that maybe they can slack on using moisturizers and everything will be great because it's hot, it's humid, so our face must be moisturized, and that's not true. Like I said, in the summer, there are a lot more things that can challenge your skin's moisture barrier, and so moisturizing becomes very important. You can still have dry skin in the summer. It's not an exclusive winter issue, and that dryness, that irritation, barrier impairment all can aggravate underlying skin conditions like acne, eczema, rosacea, and so you want to stay on top of just your basic skincare routine. You don't need to revolutionize it too much. In fact, if the moisturizer you are using is working out for you, there's no need to necessarily change it up for the summer. So why have a video on moisturizers that are lightweight for the summer? Well, in the summer months, some people, myself included, like to switch over to maybe a more lightweight formula that does not feel as heavy, as greasy on the skin, and allows for better evaporation of sweat because we're doing a lot of heavy sweating, especially if you live in this swamp that is Houston, Texas. And I know a lot of you guys live in tropical climates all over the world, so you are seeking hydrating gel moisturizers that don't occlude sweat evaporation. And speaking of occluding sweat evaporation, a lot of people deal with heat rash, sweat rash. It's called miliaria. Basically, the sweat glands get plugged up, and therefore you get these little itchy bumps. I talk a lot about this in my video on hot weather skincare. But heavy moisturizers can aggravate that quite a bit. And so if you deal with it on your face, on your cheeks, like you wake up some mornings, it's really hot, you have like what looks like little pimples that seem to appear all of a sudden, could be heat rash. Maybe your moisturizer is just super duper heavy and you might want to switch up to a more lightweight hydrating gel. So you are in luck. Without further ado, let's get into it. Number one is actually not just a moisturizer, but a product that treats multiple skin issues. So this may not be right for everyone, especially if you don't have these issues. It's from Cetaphil, and honestly, it is underrated. Everyone I have ever recommended this to has sung the praises of it. It's probably one of their most loved products that just kind of flies under the radar. It's Cetaphil's Mattifying Acne Moisturizer. Now hold that thought. It doesn't mean that it is only for people with acne, and I'll explain in a moment. This is a moisturizer with 0.5% salicylic acid. So for those who have acne-prone skin, salicylic acid is a useful ingredient for helping to exfoliate the pore lining, cutting down on like blackheads, whiteheads. It's also a useful ingredient for people with rough and bumpy skin on the face, keratosis pilaris, because it softens and gently exfoliates those rough bumps. Salicylic acid is also anti-inflammatory, and it's helpful for lightening hyperpigmentation. So very functional ingredient. This moisturizer is such a nice formula. It is mattifying, it's not greasy, it's hydrating, moisturizing, free of fragrance. I mean, they really balance out the formula to be suitable for quite a broad spectrum of skin types. So really consider this one if you have any of those issues: keratosis pilaris, acne-prone skin, post-acne marks, whether it be dark marks or redness, or you're just looking for smooth skin. You know, with age, the rate of skin barrier turnover slows down, and you may be prone to developing dry, rough skin patches on the face. This would be a great one to consider. Now, the other thing about this, and you guys are gonna have to remind me of this because I always forget about this. I always forget about this because it's not really obvious when you just look at the product. It's not something that they advertise heavily. This is a drugstore facial moisturizer that has kojic acid in it. I always forget that about this because, again, it's not something that they're really drawing a lot of attention to. So why does that matter? Kojic acid is an excellent ingredient for people who are attempting to improve the appearance of dark spots, hyperpigmentation. It chelates copper, which is necessary for the enzyme tyrosinase that is responsible for pigment production. It is a great ingredient for dark spots. It also has licorice root. Licorice root is anti-inflammatory. It likewise is helpful not just for hyperpigmentation, but for redness. So this is a really versatile product with several different ingredients that do multiple things for multiple different skin conditions. And if you're attempting to lighten dark spots and you're looking for a moisturizer for the summer, this would be a great one. I mean, the ingredients are going to address multiple arms of the pigment producing pathways that lead to more stubborn dark marks. Okay, number 2 is another great option if you have rough skin texture or you have eczema prone skin, you have rosacea, you might want to try this one. It is one of my favorite Korean facial moisturizers. It's by the brand Zeroid. It is their rachinic cream with 5% urea. Urea is a natural moisturizing factor. It's naturally present in our skin. Hygroscopic, it also helps you soften and exfoliate and improve barrier function. Now, this particular facial moisturizer is pretty lightweight and comfortable to wear on the face. It's not heavy. It's not greasy. Speaking of moisture barrier, it also has ceramides in it, which are lipids naturally found in skin's outermost layer. People who have dry skin, age-related dry skin, or atopic dermatitis, ceramide levels decline, your skin becomes more prone to water loss, so applying ceramides topically can help with that. So really good ingredient in that regard. Now, this also has compounds from Centella. Centella asiatica contains a variety of antioxidants, which offer anti-inflammatory effects downstream of their action, so helpful for cutting down on irritation. And they may also help in combating oxidative stress that damages the lipids and proteins in our skin and contributes to premature skin aging. This is one that you might discover from this video now that it's summer, but honestly, it's one that you may end up, if you like it, continuing it on in your skincare journey all throughout the fall and winter months. There's nothing about these moisturizers that excludes them from being used outside of the summer. I'm just picking them because they're a lot more lightweight and hydrating. They don't feel as heavy. All right, this is a popular Japanese gel moisturizer that is such a great value. You get a lot of product for a reasonable price. It is the Naturi Skin Conditioning Gel. It took me forever to go through a jar of this. I don't have another one in action, but I do recommend it because it gets the job done. There's nothing really, jazzy or magical about the ingredient list. Probably one of the more, interesting ingredients in it is Job's tears, which are soothing and have moisturizing properties, anti-inflammatory. But other than that, it is just a nice hydrating gel moisturizer. I mean, there's not a whole lot else to say about it, but definitely consider trying it out this summer if you are looking for a gel moisturizer because it gets the job done. It gets the job done, and especially if you have really sensitive skin, certain ingredients you don't get along with, you might try this. I mean, it really is very basic in terms of the ingredient list, but the performance is notable. I mean, it really keeps the skin hydrated, moisturized. It's not greasy. Speaking of hydrating gels, all right, Neutrogena Hydro Boost. Y'all know I've been a huge Neutrogena Hydro Boost moisturizer loyalist for many years now, like many years. And last year, they launched new formulations of their moisturizer. And I highly recommend for the summer months, in particular, the Hydro Boost Water Gel. Now, they have a water gel and a water cream. Both are great. Both are lightweight. The water gel is more lightweight in comparison to the cream, so you might want to try it out this summer. The water gel is free of fragrance, as is the water cream. All of these, as a side note, are free of fragrance. The water gel is fragrance-free, of course. It has urea in it, so helpful for the moisture barrier, helpful for rough skin texture. It also has a variety of amino acids that are part of skin's natural moisturizing factors. If you want to learn more about the water cream versus the water gel versus the old formula, check out my video from, I don't know, was it several months ago, reviewing the two. I go into detail how they differ and compare the textures and everything of that sort. But in my opinion, the new fragrance-free water gel and water cream represent substantial improvements upon the old formula, which was perfect, but these are even better. They're even better because they have ingredients that are helpful for moisturizing the skin, as they are naturally present in skin's outermost layer as natural moisturizing factors. They help with hydrating. It's not really solely now a hyaluronic acid focused moisturizer. It has some other things going on that are beneficial. Okay, and then last but not least is from Eucerin. So Eucerin, I want to say a year ago, came out with a skin balance line of moisturizers. They have a night cream and a day cream. Really lightweight, hydrating, very simple ingredient list. There's really nothing in the ingredient list that's like, you know, draws your attention in, like, oh, this is good for this, that, or the other. The main difference between the two is the day has licorice root, whereas the night does not. So licorice root is really good for redness and hyperpigmentation. It's also really good for reducing sensitivity. It's good for people who have eczema. It's been shown to be helpful in that regard. Eucerin is a brand that has been including compounds from licorice in their moisturizers for a very long time, namely marketed and made for people with eczema. So the day cream has licorice root. However, whenever there's an ingredient, no matter how wonderful the ingredient is for X, Y, and Z, there's always going to be a group of people who do not get along with that. So if you do not get along with licorice, choose the night cream. If you want to try licorice, maybe you have redness, hyperpigmentation, or your skin is very irritation prone and you're looking for that additional focused soothing from licorice root, try the day cream. Also, they have shea butter, which is good for reducing water loss. They have arginine, which is hydrating, and they have pro vitamin B5, which is really good for moisturizing, but no niacinamide. As a side note, it's like also very difficult to find facial moisturizers that just have B5 or pro B5, but don't have B3, niacinamide. And these two are that. All right, so those are my 5 picks here for lightweight, hydrating moisturizers for summer. Again, if you try one of these out and end up liking it, it doesn't mean that you have to abandon it after summer is over. These all could easily be continued through the fall, the winter, the spring, year round. You don't necessarily need to change your skincare with the seasons. Some people like to, some things are maybe more comfortable during certain times of the year. I understand that. But these are great for hot, humid climates, and they have ingredients in them that target particular skin concerns, which I have outlined here. Now, when should you be moisturizing? It really depends on you and your skin. Ideally, you are moisturizing at night before you go to bed. Because here's the thing, there is a circadian rhythm to your skin. And at night, part of what happens is you have an increase in blood flow to the skin and you have a decrease in barrier function. So you lose water from the skin more readily at night compared to during the day. Most people at night are losing more water out of their skin and are more prone to dryness. Also, at night, active ingredients penetrate into the skin better because you have that increased blood flow and you have an increase in transepidermal water loss. So it kind of allows for enhanced penetration of things that you have put on the skin. So not only is moisturizing at night helpful for just cutting down on water loss, dryness, and irritation, but it also is a time where you probably are getting better delivery of active ingredients. Now, some people have dry skin. They wake up in the morning and they want to use a moisturizer, or you wash your face, you want to put on a moisturizer. You certainly can use these in the daytime. Be warned though that you're obviously going to be putting sunscreen on over for daytime use, especially if you're going to be spending time outdoors. So putting on a moisturizer and then putting on a sunscreen on over it, you may find that the sunscreen pills. It's not a guarantee, and it will depend also on what type of sunscreen you are using. If you are using a sunscreen gel with alcohol denaturant and you apply it on over any facial moisturizer, these or anything, you may get pilling. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And I'm pointing that out because you don't necessarily need to use a facial moisturizer and then apply sunscreen, because most sunscreens are in a moisturizing base. So you should be good there. But again, some people find that their skin feels tight, dry, and that the sunscreen moisturizing is not sufficient. So these you could try under your sunscreen, but again, you might run into that pilling issue. Is moisturizing a must do? There are some people out there who really do just fine not using a moisturizer, okay? So if that's you and you're sitting there like maybe getting into skincare for the first time, you're like, I've never used a moisturizer, do I need one? You might not. But a lot of people, when they introduce a moisturizer for the first time into their routine, they do see just visible improvement, because when you improve hydration in skin's outermost layer, you do get a wrinkle smoothing effect. You get an overall kind of more radiant glow just through light scattering alone. And so you may see a visible difference, but as far as like the health of your skin, if you're not experiencing dryness, irritation, and your skin is otherwise fine, you've never used moisturizer before, don't feel as though like it is necessary for your health. Now, that being said, there are a lot of people who absolutely do need to use a moisturizer. People who have an impaired skin barrier, like atopic dermatitis, people who have acne definitely should consider using a facial moisturizer, because there is a barrier issue there that, if not addressed, can actually limit your ability to tolerate acne medications. And also, you know, people with rosacea, did I already mention that? Also have a tendency to lose water and for irritants to penetrate, which they're already more sensitive to. So there are definitely reasons to need a moisturizer for the sake of your skin health, but not everyone necessarily needs to. So that is a wrap up. I really hope this video was helpful, informative. Let me know in the comments though, have you tried any of these moisturizers? And if so, how did they work out for you? These are just some of my favorites that I happen to think are particularly good for hot, humid climates, summer months, but again, could be used year-round and any climate, dry, cold, you name it. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.